Good evening and welcome to round one of the Korea Gaming League F1 2021 Esports Series. Tonight we'll be racing at Bahrain International Circuit. Assuming the game plays along, the weather should be clear and we should see some good racing going into the evening. The Bahrain International Circuit.
Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit.
Located in
Any
Sakir,
moment now,
in
our
Bahrain.
drivers will take to the track, and the Bahrain Grand Prix will
desert
begin.
around it. It's generally pretty hot, and the surface is very abrasive.
We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10.
There are many passes going on generally on this track, especially into turn 1 and turn 4. Seems like we're just having some technical difficulties getting the lobby up. We should be starting soon. Alrighty, welcome to the track everyone. We have just started quali. No one seems to have gone out just yet, but I'm sure they'll be hitting the track very soon. And there they go. A number of the guys in this lineup were with us last season. They performed incredibly well in the F1 2020 season, with Landmine actually coming in second, if I recall correctly. It's a very strong field, and I'm sure we'll see some incredible racing and some incredible laps around the quali timings. One of the biggest issues with quali is always trying to find some space where you're not too close to the car ahead, not getting affected by the dirty air through the tight corners, but still getting enough of a tow down the straights in order to get a much better time. Brendan last season was one of our quickest racers, and so let's follow him around a lap. Looks like he gets a good run through turns 1 and 2, onto the straight down towards turn 4, takes a very wide line into turn 4, opening up the corner and allowing him to carry much more speed through the corner. Goes into the quick left right, into the downhill left-hander, seems to have full control of his car. Into this hairpin where it so often tries to spit you out the other side, but he seems to get good traction out of it. G-Funk getting out the way nicely there. Heading into turn 8 and 9, very difficult braking zone. Carries it nicely, no wheel spin, no lockup. Onto the back straight. Braking point to the fast left-hander. Quick switch of direction to the right. Just a little bit on the curve there, a little bit too far and you're spinning. Heading down towards the last corner. Again, getting as much space on the left as he can. Carrying a lot of speed through that corner. DRS open almost immediately, and across the finish line for the fastest lap. Seeing a couple of people putting in some decent times. I can only imagine G-Funk either had a spin or it was a second out lap. We're seeing a lot of people getting around that track very quickly. Stephen putting in a great time there, only 4/10 off Brendan. I'm sure they'll get a lot quicker towards the end of the session as the track rubbers in properly. And we start to see some proper laps. Looks like G-Funk has had to retire. Looks like he may have taken a little bit too much curb through turns 9 and 10. Sorry, turns 12 and 13. Looks like he may have spun, taken the wall, and that's him out of the session. Looks like a lot of people seem to be struggling a little bit with getting spacing, trying to find a good pace for their outlap without going too slowly, cooling down the tires too far, but without going too fast and having to deal with traffic in front of them. Also having to find novel ways to get out the way. Yellow flags all over the place, but I think it's just people getting out the way and going slowly enough to not impede the people behind them. Landmine just clears that Haas and looks like he should be on his way for a fast lap. Gets DRS open immediately, across the finish line, and here we go. Down the long straight towards turn 1, hard braking zone. Takes a little bit of the curb, possibly a little bit wide into out of turn 1 into turn 2. Manages to get it going down the straight towards turn 4, all the way out to the left of the track. Takes a nice line into this fast left, right, left. Doesn't use as much of the track as he possibly could have. Takes the hairpin nicely, a little bit of a spin there, or the wheel spin there I think. Into the trail braking zone, nice and close to the curb, and onto the back straight. Into the fast corners he goes, all the way to the right, then all the way to the left, and then hugging that curb on the right side without touching it. Onto the final straight before the pit straight. Doesn't look like a bad lap at all, into the final corners. And across the line in 9th. Saw a couple of yellow flags there for Lucius. Doesn't look like there's any damage to his wings. He must have kept it out of the wall. Looks like he's going to push for another lap. Should have enough ERS to do it. As he goes down to turn 1. Decent line through turn 2 and 3. Onto the straight to turn 4. Not as wide as some of the other guys we've watched. Trying to keep it between the lines, keep control. Down he goes towards the hairpin. Goes a little wide onto the curb, but that shouldn't be a... no, that's an invalidation. He'll probably need to pit and try again. As the track's rubbering in, we're seeing the times falling a little bit, with Brendan's time getting a little bit better to 26.9, and Aphrodite going a little quicker than him at 26 and 9/10 as well. Only almost 4/100ths quicker. It's a very close battle at the top. Looks like Lucius still has fuel for another run and is going for it right away. DRS open towards turn 4. Again keeps a little bit further in than some of the others. Into the left, right, left. Down the hill towards the hairpin. A little bit of a lock up on the right front, which should be fine. Into the trail braking corner. Manages to get it nice and close to the apex. Looks like a good exit. Keeps his speed nicely through that corner. Into the right-hander. Stays far away from the curb this time. Down onto the final straight before the pit stretch. Definitely pushing his car this time. Into the final corners. And onto the pit stretch. Let's see where he comes out. Only a 1:30.9, so he's going to definitely need to try another run, possibly on the softs, to get a better time. With 5 minutes left in the quali session, we have Brendan out in front with a 1:26.4, which is an incredible time. Afro still in second with 1:26.9. Jarvis sitting with a 1:26.9 as well, 9.5, only 400ths back. Steven then follows with a 1:27.1. Marcus a 10th behind. Venom 2/10ths behind Marcus. Landmine a 10th back. Lion Lamb only 100th. No, that's less than 100th. That is 7,000ths of a second behind Landmine. I'm sure there were some choice words when he crossed the line there. Sebi next, only 4,000ths behind Lion. Some incredible times here. Moss 7 sitting in with a 1:27.6. Humid with a 1:27.9. Crispy Crunch 1:28.2. Alicia with a 1:28.8. And then in the 130s we've got Bro Firehawk with a 1:30.1. Suffix with 1:30.4. Lucius with a 1:30.9. And then without, or crashed out, was G-Funk, and Madness sitting without a time. Marcus looks like he's on a time at the moment. He looks like he's doing great run so far. He managed to get the fastest first sector. Onto the back straight. DRS wide open. Pushes it into the fast left. Gets as close to the curve as he can. No fastest sector 2, but still a good time. Down towards the final corner. Gets around it using the curb on both the inside and the outside, onto the pit stretch, DRS open, puts himself into second place with a 1:26.8, and a fastest third sector. As far as the sector times are concerned, we have fastest sector 1 and 3 for Marcus, and a fastest sector 2 for Brennan. Brennan's time of 1:26.4 and his middle sector time of 36.8 is enough to keep him at the top at the moment. Between the two of them in sector 1 is about 7 hundredths, and sector 3 is about 9 hundredths, and in sector 2 there are 4 tenths difference between 6 tenths difference between Brennan and Marcus. Lots of yellow flags up as people get ready for their final laps. Looks like Jarvis may have been waiting for a tow there. Pulls into the final corner. Gets on with it down the straight. Getting the tow from Afro in the Aston Martin. Brendan goes to the top of the time with a 1:26.298. Taking sectors 2 and 3 and leaving Marcus with sector 1, but only by 4 hundredths of a second. Got 3 retirements so far. Stephen in 6th with a 1:27.1, Alicia in 14th with a 1:28.8, and G-Funk with a 1:43. Let's see if the guys behind those 3 can manage to pull it together for a lap and get above them. Marcus is not going to improve from 2nd. Sebi has finished in 6th. Lion in 9th. Crispy in 13th. Firehawk in 16th and Lucius in 17th. Still have a few people out on laps. Jarvis being one of them, getting the fastest sector 2 time of anyone. It looks like a Red Bull out into far into a dirt trap somewhere. Jarvis crosses the line, takes himself into 5th position. Brennan crosses the line, stays at the top. Ladmine looks like he's still on a lap. Could still be on a lap. Gets the fastest 2nd sector of anyone. Heading down to the final straight, towards the last corners. Uses a lot of curb on the inside, a lot of curb on the outside. It's a good sign. Opens the DRS, goes across the line. Can't get faster, unfortunately. And that's how it ends. We've got Brendan, followed by Afro, followed by Venom, followed by Marcus, then Jarvis, Humid, Sebi, Steven, Landmine, Lion Lamb, Moss, Madness, Crispy Crunch, Alicia in 14th, Suffix in 15th, Firehawk, Lucius, and then G-Funk bringing up the rear. At this year's Bahrain Grand Prix, in real life F1, Max Verstappen's quali time was a 128.997, so Brennan's 126.298 is a great time. Normally with esports, you're generally supposed to look at about a second a lap faster than what you can manage in the real cars, so his time is incredibly quick. Here we go, drivers lining up on the grid. And off they go, very quickly there. Down towards the first corner, it's a long run to the first corner, so there's a lot of speed being carried in there. Looks like the first two are getting through fine, a little bit of squirreliness in the back. Someone has spun and out comes the virtual safety car. Venom appears to be the person who took the brunt of that. Looks like Suffix and Madness both ended up with penalties as well. So a little bit of a chaotic start. Looks like Madness is completely without a front wing, and Suffix, right side of his front wing seems fine, left side seems fine. Must have been a little bit of side contact. I don't see any damage around the side pods or the rear wing either. Must have been a little bit of side contact. We are racing again. Guys out in front, following each other very closely through these corners. Obviously not wanting to lose touch with the guy in front. Keeping those slipstreams, especially with all the long straights down on this track. We have some interesting movement after the first lap. We've got Madness and Steven being the biggest position losers. We've got Steven dropping down 8 places as he goes into the pits. I imagine he'll be repairing a wing. There it is. Biggest winner off the start was G-Funk, going up 9 places off the start, and then Crispy going up 6th. It's a good sign for the rest of the race. The guys out in front, separated by only a couple of tenths there. A couple of seconds. Predicted pit strategies mostly look at a 2-stop. Well, I'm sure there'll be a couple of people trying to push for a 1 and preserving the tires as much as possible. Oh, that looked a little bit sus, with Lion Lamb just touching G-Funk and spinning him out. All that hard work disappears in a moment. DRS is now enabled as Lion Lamb goes to the inside into turn 1. Looks like he manages to get ahead. Around turn 2, he's lost the position again, into turn 3, and ahead he goes. He still gets the DRS as they went through the DRS zone with him behind. Into turn 4, gets through cleanly, and he's cleanly ahead of Crispy. Marcus is now approaching up behind Humid, chasing him into turns 9 and 10. Onto the back straight, where he'll get the help of DRS. And Humid does not get DRS going down the back straight. Not a great place to pass into turns 12 and 13. But as long as he can keep close enough, he should be able to push onto... Oh no. And around he goes. Marcus loses his front wing. Luckily ghosting is on, and he doesn't take out his competitors. But that's going to be a difficult drive back to the pit, especially with the Ferrari right on top of him. Lets him by. And he'll definitely go into the pits. Brendan setting a fastest lap of 1:29.9. I'm sure we'll see a lot faster towards the end of the race. Afro and Brendan out in front seem to have kept it clean. They're still very close to each other, following really nicely. However, it is something to keep in mind that the closer you follow, the longer you follow, the quicker your tires go off, and Afro might start struggling while Brendan still has fresher tires, as he has the clean air out in front of him. It looks like Suffix has had to retire in the pits. Not sure what happened there. Looks like the game has decided to put him out on another lap. Hopefully this doesn't cause any sort of drama as the AI decides to pull over to the side and, I would assume, retire. What is there? There it goes. Into turn 2. Who knows? Brendan and Afro still fighting it out. Going onto the back straight. Afro will have DRS. Let's see if he's got the exit and the speed to catch up to Brendan. Looks good. Is he going to pull to the inside? He does, but thinks better of it. Pulls back in behind Brendan. Possibly planning to try it out of turn 3, up towards turn 4. DRS are wide open again. There's not enough time down to there. And we're not going to see a move here. We'll probably see a repeat next lap. In the meantime, Jarvis looks like he's getting past Firehawk. Looks like a clean move into turn 1. Seems to have made it stick. Let's see what the DRS does down towards turn 4. Not quite enough to be able to catch him, and so that'll probably stick until at least the back straight. In the meantime, looks like Moss is pulling up towards Alicia. Alicia goes quite wide out of turn 9. Onto the back straight, DRS open. Moss is waiting, doesn't want to try anything too risky. He's going to have to consider it soon though, because Ladmine is catching up quite quickly behind him. It looks like we might have a spin. Brendan appears to have spun out of turn 15 onto the pit straight, which puts him all the way back and forth with Lion Lamb behind him. And hopefully he hasn't overheated his tires or anything, because that would put him quite a lot into danger. Looks like we've had a spin in Marcus, and with that little pirouette there, looks like he might have heated up his tires a little bit. At least he's going onto a straight, which will allow them to cool down enough that he shouldn't have too much of a problem coming up. Alicia and Landmine fighting it out into turn 4. Landmine getting a slightly better exit. Alicia allowing the pass, but I'm sure she'll be looking at getting back at him, coming out of turn 9 and onto the back straight. Crispy Crunch being given a penalty, I'm assuming, for track limits. And with Jarvis right behind, I'm sure he would not have wanted to see that. We have another spin out of Sebi. Same corners, that curb of death on the inside there. Unfortunately losing the position to Brendan, but I'm sure with being as close as he is, he's going to definitely try and fight it more. Jarvis and Crispy Crunch fighting, coming out of that corner, heading onto the final straight. Looks like they're going to be side by side going into the final corners. Crispy Crunch taking the inside line, getting a decent exit, but this won't be over. Jarvis looks like he's got a good exit, got DRS. Crispy Crunch weaving a little bit violently there, a little bit looking like he's out of control, but Jarvis gets the pass nevertheless. Coming out of turn 3, heading towards turn 4, let's see who gets the DRS. Crispy gets the DRS, he's got very little ERS left. Tries the pass around the outside, but not quite close enough. Tries the switch back. Looks like Jarvis is going to hold it, at least onto the back straight. Crispy goes a little bit wide there. He will have lost a little bit of time. Locks up the right front. I think that will put Jarvis into a safe space. Crispy will not get DRS going onto the straight. And that's completed pass by Jarvis. Moss trying to chase down Landmine, only 6/10 behind. Going on to the final straight. Looks like he's using up some ERS to try and... No, just a slipstream. Oh. Crispy looks like he was caught. Again. In the turn 12 and 13 corners. Alicia going in for a pit stop. Moss and Landmine fighting it out. Going through turns 1, 2 and 3 onto the straight down to turn 4. Moss getting DRS. Doesn't look like he's spending too much ERS, just being patient. Crispy Crunch being hit with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And we have a spin in turn 2. It looks like Firehawk getting back onto the racing line, which unfortunately does hold up Alicia a little bit. She would have had to take a little bit easy through there, just not to plow into him. No incident here. Alicia behind him. Looks like she's going to get past him. He's possibly got some hot tires. But she has his teammate Steven to contend with. I'm sure she'll be thinking of that as she tries to get past Firehawk. Firehawk dashing out and then dashing back onto the racing line. Alicia should take him. And she does into turn 12. Goes into turn 13 ahead. Stays well clear of that curb. Onto the final straight. And she's still ahead. Steven and Firehawk busy fighting behind. Steven looks like he's going to get Firehawk before the final corner. Firehawk breaks a little bit later. Goes a little wide. Steven gets a better exit. And that move is done. Looks like a number of people are coming in for their pit stops. Still got Afro, Humid, Landmine, Lucius, and Firehawk still to do their stops. Lion Lamb looks like he's starting to push pressure on Lucius. Definitely starting to put pressure on Lucius with those newer tires. Gonna try. Okay, no, he's just widening the corner. He should get a good exit out of this corner. He should take him on the back straight. There it is. Well ahead before the next corner, but not quite enough to close out the corner. Has to take a slightly more inside line, and he's ahead now. Steven and Alicia are busy battling for position through the same 12 and 13 corners. Firehawk just behind as well, possibly waiting to see if either of them make a mistake and then pounce on it. It looks like these two are racing nice and cleanly. Steven having patience, lining up the move. He should get it down the main straight. There it is, cutting to the inside. Nice clean pass. And he's ahead. He was probably ahead at the DRS detection point, so Alicia should get DRS down the next straight. There it is. A little bit too far back to try and move, and so she'll have to wait until the next opportunity. Moss and Lion busy fighting each other. Lion very close to that Red Bull there. Definitely wants to get past him. Going around onto the back straight. Very close. Should get a good exit. DRS open. Staying as close as possible. Red Bull cuts to the inside. Lion has to go around the outside into turn 12. Looking into turn 13, he's going to be pushed close to that curb. Manages to stay off it. And he's ahead, going onto the back straight, the final straight. Red Bull almost touches him on the back there. The Red Bull's now going to pull out beside him. And this is going to be all the way onto the pit stretch as well. Looks like we've got another spinner on that turn 13 curb. The Red Bull takes the inside line, manages to get ahead. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. Looks like Lion Lamb has lost quite a bit of time and is now being pressured by Lucius. Oh, that was a little... Not sure if this is... Oh, ignoring yellow flag. Lion Lamb gets a penalty, a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. Not sure I even saw it. Looked like he got a little tap from Lucius as well. Steven is now joining the action as well. There are lots of strange things going on at the moment. Looks like Lion Lamb may have had a little bit of disconnect there, and that's put him back a good 3 places. That's going to be very difficult to handle. Oh, we have a car that's G-Funk very far out. Looks like it was into turn 4. Let's see if we can... Oh, that's a safety car. Safety car is out, so everyone's going to have to watch their deltas. This is always a difficult time for all the drivers. Can't even see G-Funk, he's so far out. Everyone's going to have to watch their deltas, be very careful going around. We're likely to see those people who hadn't pit yet, Ladmine, Lucius, and Firehawk. They're probably going to take advantage of this. Head into the pits. There's Ladmine there. Lucius. Looks like we've got a couple people coming into pit. We've got Humid as well. Sebi goes past, he's already pit. Let's see what Moss does, he goes past. Lucius coming into pit, Steven's coming into pit. Alicia's going past, Jarvis is going past, Firehawk is coming into pit. Crispy is still on the final straight, so he's going to be a while. Madness and Marcus still rounding the final corners. Crispy is going into the pits. Madness going into the pits. Marcus, the final one, coming through. And he's going past. He he'll gain a couple of positions. He's already stopped twice, so I can only imagine a little bit, once for damage, and once for tires. He comes out ahead of Crispy, but that won't be a concern for a while. We've still got 17 laps to go. Afro out in front, following the safety car. The Aston Martin safety car here at Bahrain. So the Aston Martin's lining up. The only Aston Martins on the track at the moment. Leading the race. Everyone trying to keep their tires warm, although it might be a little bit premature with the safety car looking like it's going to go around another lap. It's such a difficult balancing act, keeping your tires warm, but at the same time not taking too much out of them. Too much weaving, you can wear out your tires faster than you absolutely need to. Humid? No, who is that? Sebi appears to have gone into the pits. Let's see if he gets a wing change and why he's done it. No wing, it's just for tires. May have mistimed it, missed the pit lane at the first opportunity. Loses a number of positions and goes onto soft tires, so he's probably going to have to pit again before the end. As we watch the guys follow each other around, safety car always concertinas everyone up. It's very difficult to maintain distance. You have to be within 10 car lengths of the car ahead, but at the same time, obviously if you're too close, you're going to have contact, and that leads to huge penalties, which I see a couple of people have. I'm not sure whether that's from safety cars, but looks like Lion Lamb may have gotten a penalty from some sort of contact. The other three, Humid, Crunch, and Madness, looks like they've just had track limits issues for the race. But yeah, it's so difficult to maintain distance, make sure that you don't touch anyone around you. And so many times during the safety car period, especially in this game, there are a number of glitches that can make it even more difficult than it otherwise needs to be. Looks like the safety car is pulling away, which means Afro takes over as the de facto safety car. Let's see where he gets going. Goes around the final corner. Brendan trying to get alongside just to get a better release. Looks like Afro started, and off they go. Across the finish line, Brendan's got a very good run. Ladmine right there with them. Heading into turn one. This is going to be tight. 3 of them going into turn one. Afro and Lad. Afro and Brennan both through safely. Looks like everyone's through safely out to turn one. All 3 of those front guys still fighting. A Red Bull looking to get in on the action as well. Through turn 4. Still so close together. Heading down towards the hairpin. Hoping everyone's tires are nice and warm, because this can be really terrible with the cold tires. Looks like everyone's fine so far. Brendan looks like he's getting a little bit of a lead over Afro. And there it is. Lucius with a little bit of a spin. Looks like a little bit of front wing left behind there. Looks like the front right end plate that he's left behind. Humid and Lion Lamb busy fighting it out there. Down onto the back straight. Looks like our intervals are still very low. But of course there's no DRS for the 2 laps after the safety car. So the guys who are more than a second behind the guy in front are all going to have issues. Oh, and there is a collision at the back. It looks like Firehawk and Crispy Crunch have come together and have taken themselves each other out. And unfortunately that means another safety car. Right after the last one went in. That's unfortunate. At the end of that period of racing, Brennan's still out in struck. Brennan has managed to get out in front. Afro behind him. Ladmine has managed to keep touch with them. Moss in the Red Bull in 4th. Humid in the McLaren. Then Lion Lamb. Then Jarvis. Then Steven. Then Sebi. Followed by Marcus and Alicia. Madness. And finally Lucius, who has had to pit again. I would assume that was after that incident where he lost his wing around the hairpin. He will be told to pass the safety car as it's waiting for the leader, so he still has a full lap to go before he catches up to the train. Or the crocodile, if you will. Looks like a couple of people are going into the pits. Lion Lamb will have to serve his penalty, so this will probably be quite a long pit stop, but it's the right time to take it because he'll be expected to catch up to the back of the safety car line before it goes off. So this is the perfect time to get rid of that 5-second penalty. Hopefully he doesn't get another one through whatever happened with the previous safety car. Comes out at the back with only Lucius behind him. Alicia, Marcus and Steven have all pitted an extra time now. Let's see what tires everyone has gone onto. Steven has gone on the hards, so he will definitely be trying to push to the end of the race. The hards will give him a little bit more option than the mediums might. Doesn't look like anyone's really run the mediums for too long, so we unfortunately don't have the data on how long they're going to last, but the estimate is not being told to me right now. It'll be interesting to see if the mediums can make it all the way to the end of the race. With 13 laps to go, it might be a push, but I'm sure they'll make it. The hards will mean that Steven will be able to push for a lot longer than some of the other guys, and so he can lean on those tires towards the end and maybe make up some easier positions than he otherwise would have had to. Sebi and Madness and Lucius are all on softs. If they are going to make it to the end, they are going to have to do some serious tire management, especially since Sebi and Madness both have 2 and 3 lap old tires. Safety car looks like it's pulling away. No, lights are still on. So looks like we're going around for another lap. Brandon almost losing it there. What is the safety car doing? Its lights are green. Definitely looks like we're going around for another lap. The safety car will probably come in at the end of this lap as its lights have gone green. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we don't get a glitch where the safety car joins the race, but weirder things have happened with the safety car. Everyone trying to get some temperature into their tires, except for Brennan. He seems to be preserving them, maybe, waiting until the end. His tires are 2 laps older than Afro, so he does need to do a little bit more preservation to be able to push as far as he can. Other people with 7 lap old tires are Moss and Jarvis. They have the oldest tires, all in the mediums. Afro's next, 5-lap old mediums, and then Landmine and Humid are running 4-lap old mediums. Sebi and Madness, 3 laps and 4 laps on their softs. They are probably going to suffer at some point and possibly lose a bunch of positions through a later pit stop. But they will have a decent chance at pushing for the fastest lap, which of course that is an extra point. And especially for their teams, that will be very important later on once they get their rhythm right. Brendan's starting to warm up his tires through turns 12 and 13. Safety car is going in this lap, as you suspected. So let's watch as they get onto the final straight. The safety car will start to pull away. Everyone will start to warm up their tires. This is an especially dangerous time for everyone going into the final corner. They will probably bunch up. Try and get as far alongside as they can. Safety car is still on track. There it goes off. You can see that bunching I was talking about. Brendan goes early. Afro and Landmine get a good follow. Everyone in their slipstreams. They split. Let's see how they go into turn 1. Oh, looks like a McLaren spun there. That was Jarvis. Afro has crashed out. That is tragic. He was doing so well. I wonder if there was contact or if he maybe just overcooked it a little bit on an exit. But there it is. Things can change so quickly. He's out. Doesn't seem to be a safety car again. Not sure if the safety car has decided it's been out a little bit too much. Or maybe he's just not in a place that the game sees as dangerous. And there he goes. Unfortunately, that's the end of the race for Afro. Just having a look at Brendan's front wing. He's all fine. Landmine looks like he's all fine. Moss also seems all fine. So I'm not sure if there was maybe side contact or what happened there. Definitely wasn't Wings or anyone from behind that may have bumped him. Humid very close to the back of Moss there, and Sebi very close to the back of him, onto the back straight. They'll only have a slipstream for this lap. And there you can see them fighting for the slipstream. Broadcast cam giving me weird angles. It's a very brave dive down the inside. Good idea to pull out as far as he did. Gives everyone some space, gets them all through onto the run down to turn 4. Might be able to have a nice look down the inside there. Has a think. Moss defends it, and round they go. They'll keep their positions for now. Looks like Steven and Lucius coming in for tires. No, those are long pit stops. Coming out of the pits, they're half a lap behind the rest of the guys now. Sebi getting very close to that Red Bull. Almost getting under those rear tires. Nicely into the slipstream. 2/10 behind. Looks at the inside. Doesn't go for it. Patience is the name of the game right now. With as many people out, only 2 people aren't getting points in this race. And so it's important to finish, as well as finish well. Sebi's currently running in 5th. Doesn't need to take unnecessary risks. Stays in that slipstream, going down towards the final corner. Gets around it nicely. Little bit of a jink there from Moss. Slipstream down the back at the front straight. Gets to the outside for the next corner. Looks like he might be passed already going into the braking zone. Gives space on the inside anyway. Nice clean racing there. And he's past Moss. That is Steven. Curb of Death. Looks like it may have reintroduced itself again. Onto the final straight. Lost that position to Lucius. Back on his way. Alicia looks like she's looking at Marcus. Gets around the hairpin fine. Let's see what she can do down the back straight. In the meantime, Lion Lamb is only 2/10 behind the McLaren. Going onto the back straight already. DRS is open. But Jarvis has DRS as well. Both of them pulling up to the back of Madness there. Going through turn 12 and 13. Alicia has held position with Marcus. Let's see what happens. Coming out of turn 13. Onto the back straight. Madness has gone a little wide, but managed to keep his position. Jarvis keeping position, keeping close. Will get the DRS. Alicia has taken Marcus down that straight. Did she do it before the DRS detection zone? No, she did. Yes, she did. Jarvis and Madness have switched position. Lion Lamb looks like he's looking down the inside. Manages to get down the inside. Keeps the position going into turn 2. Marcus and Alicia have switched position again. Sebi and Landmine have switched position. So many things going on all over the track at this point. Alicia not quite close enough to try into turn 4. And they'll hold position for now. Sebi's getting close to the back of Humid now. Only 4/10 behind. Heading onto the back straight. Goes a little wide, misses the apex. Might get a better exit out of there than Humid. Getting a little bit of toe. Obviously with the DRS it helps a lot, but doesn't look like he got as good an exit as he may have wanted. Marcus and Alicia fighting each other again. Going around turn 13. Alicia has taken the position again. Marcus still very close behind. Unfortunately has gone a little wide there. Looks like Alicia went wide as well and has now gotten a 3-second penalty for track limits. Marcus still is clean as far as track limits are concerned. Alicia having to dump quite a bit of energy there. Jarvis and Lion Lamb fighting onto the pit straight. Jarvis having DRS. Looks like someone just went into the pit there. That was Madness going into the pits, so he's going to drop a couple of positions. Ladmine and Humid, and there we go. Sebi looks like he's managed to get past Humid, got past him before the braking zone. They tuck in through this windy section. Lots going on. Marcus and Alicia trading places again. Very close there. Nice control by Alicia not to go into the back of Marcus. Lion Lamb and Jarvis going through the hairpin at the moment. Sebi looks like he's going to have a good look onto Humid, onto the back straight. Gets the DRS open. Ladmine behind them, just keeping his distance. Round into 12 and 13 they go. And Sebi is ahead. Well done. Jarvis and Ladmine still close to each other. Alicia only 2/10 behind Marcus. Looks like Humid is going to try onto the back straight, or onto the front straight. Gets a decent exit there. Nice and close. He's going to get DRS. He's going to get the slipstream. He should get the pass done. And back around. Landmine out of nowhere decides to join the battle. Little close to Humid there. Gets around the corner nicely. Still fighting with Sebi. Oops. And seems like everyone's got through fine. Sebi and Ladmine both have DRS, and unfortunately that means that's neutralized for this moment. Lion Lamb and Jarvis fighting each other, going into turn 4. Very close side by side. Good space left on the outside. Oh, and they contact, and there it is, unfortunately. And is he going to keep going? He will luckily keep going, but he's lost his front wing. That's going to be a huge loss of time. Oh, and that looked like it may have been intentional. That's a safety car out. Lion Lamb and Jarvis appear to have taken each other out, and that's another 2 DNFs. That means we are now down to 10 remaining, and it's becoming a little bit of a last man standing here. I'm sure that incident between Lion Lamb and Jarvis is definitely going to be investigated, and unfortunately I'm pretty sure there are going to be some fairly hefty penalties coming out for that one. So, the safety car is out once again. There are 6 laps to go. Who is going to... It looks like, just as I start saying that, Brendan has come in. Humid is staying on. Moss is staying on. Sebi has pit. Ladmine is pit. Let's see what Alicia does. Alicia's going on. Madness is still on the final straight. Madness is staying on. Let's see what Marcus does. He's staying on. Lucius coming around the final corner. Staying straight. And Steven is going to go into the pits. Guess he's got nothing to... Oh, that looked very quick into the pits, but no penalties popping up. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Looks like he's going for a gamble. He's got nothing to lose. Going onto the soft tires. Let's see what he can do with them. So, as things stand, if the race were to end now, Humid has made up 5 places since the start, Moss 9. Brendan has lost 2, but I wouldn't be too concerned with that. With that extra pit stop, he is going to be incredibly fast in the closing stages. Sebi has gained 3 places. Alicia has gained 9, racing very well in this first round. Ladmine gained 3. Madness 5, Marcus lost 4, but again another person that can definitely put those soft tires to good use. Lucius up 8 spots, and Steven down only 2, and another person that on his day can definitely do a lot with those fresh soft tires. It's going to be an explosive couple of laps towards the end. Marcus and Steven sitting with 4 and 5 pit stops each, and that can very much tell you why they are where they are in the standings. But it's not going to matter for much longer. When that safety car comes in, probably on the next lap, hopefully on the next lap, they're going to have fresh tires, no wing damage, hopefully, and I'm sure they will have something something to prove. As far as tires are concerned, Moss with the oldest tires, 15 lap old mediums. As long as he can try and defend, get decent exits out of everywhere, and not cook his tires too much, he should be able to make it to the end of the race, but it is going to be a stretch. Humid sitting on 12 lap old tires, Alicia on 8. Lucius sitting with 5 lap old softs, which he might also end up in the same position towards the end. Brendan on fresh softs, Sebi on fresh mediums. I imagine he pitted this lap, so on the safety car lap. It's odd that he would have gone on to mediums. That might have just been the game deciding they knew better. It'll be interesting to see what he says afterwards. Ladmine, fresh softs. Marcus, only a lap old softs, so that's not too bad. And Steven on fresh softs. Safety car is coming in this lap. Everyone will be scrambling to warm up their tires. A couple of people obviously trying not to warm them up too much. Humid, Alicia and Madness sitting with 3-second penalties, so they are going to have to push like mad to try and keep their positions, especially with the field bunched up as much as it is. Everyone has caught up to the train this time. So let's see what happens. There's the bunching going on. Brendan getting nice and close to Moss. And away they go. Brendan getting a very good safety car restart. Down the inside. And he's up into second already. Madness getting a 3-second penalty. Is that his second? That's his second 3-second penalty. So he's sitting with a 6-second penalty in last place. Lucius has managed to get another position. Alicia down into 7th, down into 8th. Does not look like she nailed the restart there. Steven managing to get past on those fresher tires. Marcus up to 6th. Moss in 5th. Ladmine in 4th. Sebi in 3rd. Brennan in 2nd. And Brennan in 1st. As I say that, through the hairpin. Humid, it looks like he may have left a little bit too much room there. Might be struggling with those tires. Might have just realized soft tires versus old mediums. It's just not going to happen. And would rather keep the position and push to try and get out of that 3-second range of Sebi, Ladmine and Moss. Brendan out in front on those soft tires. And at this point, they should be nicely in the window. Absolutely. A little bit hot on the left-hand side, but that's normal around that corner. And off he goes. Sebi giving a look to Humid. Ladmine giving a look to Sebi. Moss and Steven fighting it out there. Steven getting past Moss, but onto the back straight. Who's ahead? Steven's ahead. Steven has managed to hold that. Moss trying to find the angle, but not getting it before that corner. Humid has dropped into 3rd. Sebi up to 2nd. Looks like Ladmine is looking up the inside of Humid. And into turn 4. That is very close. There might have been a little bit of a touch there. Both of them get through without any issues. Down towards the hairpin. Oh, massive lock up there for Humid, but they keep going. Ladmine is catching up to Sebi quite nicely. It's within 4/10 now, going into 12 and 13. Catching very quickly. It almost looks like Sebi might have some sort of issue. Might be those mediums not coming into the temperature range quickly enough. Whereas Ladmine's softs obviously will give him a lot more traction, will be a lot warmer, give him a very good run out of that final corner. Slipstreaming, because there's no DRS quite yet. There will be DRS into the next zone where Ladmine will get it. Brendan out in front, setting fastest lap after fastest lap and pulling away from the field, already 2.5 seconds ahead. Ladmine looking around the outside of Sebi, doesn't go for it this time, is going to have to be patient onto the back straight. Madness is giving a look to Moss. Being patient at the moment. I'm sure he'll have a look down the back straight. There are only 2 laps left to go, including this one. So if any moves are going to happen, they're going to have to happen quickly, and so people are going to be pushing a little bit harder than they normally would. Ladmine gets a very good entry into that corner. Looks like he didn't get a great exit, but the DRS will help him close up again, and will keep him within range going onto the back straight, or onto the final straight. Madness very close to Moss. Probably is riding without a helmet somehow. Probably not going to try it through these corners. Will probably get onto the final straight and then the back straight. Try and focus on his exit onto the onto the front straight. In the meantime, Ladmine is going through that final corner at the moment. Brendan, another fastest lap at a 1:28.6. Landmine looking at the outside. Going through there. Looks like he doesn't have a great run through there. May have been pushed a little bit wide. And Sebi protects his position. Turn 4. Landmine around the outside again. Will get a decent run into the next set of corners. Side by side through these corners. And down towards the hairpin. Landmine has pulled ahead. But Sebi has now gone down the inside, braked a little later, gone around the hairpin, but will get a slower run out of there. Into turns 8 and 9, the trail braking. Landmine stays behind this time. Let's see whether he got DRS. Steven gets a time penalty for track limits. Landmine looks like he's going to go around the outside at 12. Tucks in behind at 13. Trying to go around the outside. Very nice racing from both of them. That was very respectful. Lots of space given. Sebi tucks in behind him. Should have DRS down the front straight. Lucius now getting the next track limits warning. This for the final 2 podium positions onto. And that's the end of the race. Landmine managed to win it by 0.06 of a second. And that was an incredible end to the race. Landmine getting driver of the day there. Definitely deserved. And the podium sees Brendan, Landmine, and Sebi up there in first, second, and third. So, as it ended, Brendan came first, Landmine followed, Sebi in third, Marcus fourth, Humid in the McLaren in fifth, Stephen in sixth, made up a good number of places in that last couple of laps, Moss in seventh, Lucius eighth, Alicia in ninth, Madness in 10th. DNFs are Jarvis, Lion Lamb, Afro, and Firehawk. Followed by Crispy, G-Funk, Suffix, and Venom. Thanks for joining us everyone. That was a great start to the season, and we can't wait to bring you more.